Okay, traders, today is August 28th, 2023. We're going to do a little market wrap up. Here's the SPY daily chart. We put in a lower high over here. So now we have a right shoulder and a left shoulder and a neckline. So below this area right here, that's going to be our head and shoulders pattern right there. All right, so we'll take a look at this. Where's the SPY going today? We'll look at it on the 10-minute for tomorrow. My pivot, 441.93. Trying to get back up to this downtrend line, which exists if you zoom out. And that's putting these lines in right here. So I feel like price action wants to get back to this anchored VWAP up here at 445.75, 445.70 area. We'll see. We've got multiple hourly tails up here, so I don't know if price gets over that or not. But I have another chart where we have an uptrend line closing inside that uptrend line. Should push us up to that downtrend line that exists right up here. If I put that in right there, so that price action over here should push us up to there. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, we've got the backside of this uptrend line that we just tagged. So we'll see where price action goes. So far, we've got a bull flag on the hourly chart. It goes up and over to the right. So we'll see what they want to do tomorrow, if they can keep it up over this trend line. I feel like price action comes up to 445. Comes up there, probably challenge that anchored VWAP. So there's SPY. Now if we break down below and we start breaking below the neckline, which is right here, then I see further downside. So here's our head and shoulders neckline right there. So there's the SPY. So let's take a look at the QQQ. And we'll look at the QQQ on the daily chart. And you can see on the QQQ, we've got lower highs and lower lows. Another lower high. Pressure on the bears to produce that lower low. We've got a head and shoulders pattern setting up. Here's a left shoulder, left neck, and right neck down here. This would be your right shoulder. So we'll see how things play out. There's QQQ. Notice on the pullback for SPY and QQQ, they're up over the midpoint. If we go look at SPY, here's the SPY pullback. Put the quad lines in. We're way up over the midpoint. Closing in on quadrant 4 up here. So there's SPY and QQQ. Let's look at IWM on the daily chart. IWM on the daily chart looks like a bear flag so far. Nothing really to report. We've got a shoulder here, a left shoulder, left neck, head. So far, no right shoulder. Looking more like a bear flag than a right shoulder at this time. Still could be further downside. If we can zoom out and see where we got some other trend lines playing out. You can see here we bounced off of this trend line and probably off of the midpoint if we drag that through. So here's the midpoint and the trend line. Here's IWM bouncing off of that. We'll see what happens there. We still have a daily downtrend right here. Still have to move up through that and make a higher low and a higher high on IWM. Nothing really exciting happening here. Still in a bear flag pattern. Now let's take a look at the diamonds. So here's the diamonds. Same uptrend, bouncing off the uptrend, challenging the downtrend right here. Kind of piercing it right there. We'll see if they can close candles up over the downtrend line. That would be a nice sign for the Diamond Dows. All right, so now let's take a look at, we did IWM, did FNGU. So here's FNGU below the neckline here. And here is a lower high. And so far, they could not make it over the midpoint, which spells to me further downside down to this uptrend line. We'll see what happens. We got the SPY wanting to go in one direction and FNGU predicting a different pattern. So one of these is going to win over the future price action. We'll see what happens. That's FNGU. All right, now let's take a look at SMH. All right, so here's SMH, not quite making it over the midpoint, struggling here. Still got a downtrend to challenge. It was up there challenging it a few days ago on Thursday. Not getting much follow through from that. Just a igniting bar to the downside here in SMH. Kind of just bull flagging over to the right, and the bull flag would be. Let me draw that in for you. Pick a different color. Find my markers. So you got a bull flag that comes up here and then over here. So there's your bull flag in SMH. Now let's take a look at IYT. There's your transports going up, went up too fast, comes back down just as fast. Now in a bear flag pattern, and the bear flag comes down, and you can see right here, we're getting a block of candles consolidating here. We could get further downside down to a level right through here. We'll see what happens. They first has to break through this major support area right here. All right, so there's IYT. That's the transports in a bear flag pattern on the daily chart. Now let's go look at the XLF. XLF also in a bear flag pattern on the daily chart. And we'll get that drawn in for you. You can see here is the flag pole, and then here's your flag right through there. Underneath this uptrend line, not looking good for the XLF. Trying to find some bullish momentum. Still, the only thing good going on here is price is up inside the T line and dragging the 3 EMA across. So bouncing off of what would be minor support, that would be these two humps here and here. We'll see how far they get with it. Here's the downtrend line. I would expect them to probably make it back to the downtrend line right about here. We'll see how much more price action they get tomorrow morning. And let's go take a look at our T2122 for today. Briefly up in the buy zone and then just chopped away all day, all the way back to the midpoint. So if this is the high or low, I'll take it as long as we get back into the buy zone sometime tomorrow. Really don't like hanging out in this area. T2122. T2123. Red, green all day, just Christmas colors. Nothing to report other than just consolidation here. T2123. On the bigger time frame, just still more red trend indicator balls with consolidation, price action is stalling, and the trend indicator is catching up to the price action here. So here's the selling going on right now. And we'll take a look at UVXY. Let's just take a look at it. So here's the VIX pulling back. Got an M pattern playing out on the VIX. And if the VIX breaks through this middle point here, which it looks like it's going to, further downside for the UVXY. So that's the VIX. Any questions this morning? This evening? No questions? All right, so I will render this recording and post it up.